Hi there, my name's Alan Henry. Spent 13 years in the military. A lot of that time was serving with 3 Commando Brigade in 5-9 Squadron. I'm now out of the military, running a meal prep business with my wife. She's the brains behind it all. I'm the driver. The business Fighting Fit Kitchen.
Welcome everybody, Russ McDonough, aka The Nomadic Veteran, and welcome to this week's video. If you haven't watched the channel before, basically I'm a former Royal Marine, and last year, 2019, me and the missus sold our house, sold 95% of our belongings, moved into a van with our 2 dogs to start traveling the world. We wanted to do this because, one, we wanted to experience as much of the world as possible, see as much of the world as possible, and basically live the best life we could before we kick the bucket. One of the little side projects I wanted to get started with was the Vet Files, as you're watching now. And basically, there's a lot of veterans out there who are doing really amazing things. They've not gone down the normal 9-to-5 routine. They've got a goal, they've got a dream, and they're chasing it with all they're worth. I wanted to speak to these guys to find out what motivates them, why they're doing it, how they're doing it, and also talk a little bit about their military life and the experiences they went through. This week's guest, Al Henry, is a friend of mine. We've known each other about 14 years. We worked on the circuit out in Baghdad together for about 3 or 4 years. And he now owns a business called Fighting Fit Kitchen, which is a meal prep business providing plant-based meals to basically anyone who wants healthy meals at affordable prices. I really enjoyed chatting to Al and getting to know his missus a bit better because, one, the whole family is they're just so positive about everything, and it's infectious how positive they are. And you walk away and you're like, yeah, you know, the world's a great place, etc. Which of course it is. And also the second thing is that you can tell they're such good people. You've heard the saying, good things happen to good people. They're a prime example of that. I won't spoil it too much for you, but the things they're doing is they're giving back to the community. Anyway, enough of me. Here's Al.
All honesty, I joined the military because I was bored, okay? I didn't actually know what the military was. I thought the army was the army, and that's all I knew. I was 17 and a half. I was working as in a clothes shop, doing a YTS. Loving life, but I wanted something different. Went for a walk one lunchtime, went past the careers office, and there it was. Looked amazing. 2 weeks later, I'm in. It was the first time I'd ever been away from my family, and again, I'm not scared to admit it. I cried, yeah. Homesickness it really is bad. My mum, bless her, she's so strong, and she told me on the phone to get on with it, and I did. I got on with it. I loved basic training. Once I got past the homesickness, I loved it. You know, I've been a boy. That's all I was. I've been paid to be a boy, running around, doing army things. The discipline didn't bother me. The early mornings didn't bother me. I just absorbed it all and really enjoyed it. With an engineer, you're constantly doing courses. You don't actually get to your unit until like maybe 2 years after training because you've got so many courses to pass, and then obviously going on to do commando course so I could serve with 3 Commando Brigade. And that was probably one of the highs in my life, was getting the green lid and being able to actually serve alongside 3 Commando Brigade and all the other guys that wore the green lids. What that opened up for me was the chance to go on operations that a normal engineer unit wouldn't go, because, you know, 3 Commando Brigade are quite a specialist unit that does different things to normal units. And being 5'9", being attached to these guys, we were able to tag on and help out and get to do some alley stuff, really. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was in Iraq in the British Army. I was a driver for the commanding officer. Took him to a location. He got out, went and done his thing, and 2 civilians walked over to my vehicle. 2 British civilians, not Iraqi locals, and they started talking to me. They were doing exactly the same job as I was, but they were on mega bucks. That's all it was. Not saying I love money and I was greedy for the money. It's the fact that they were doing the same job and getting paid the money they deserve. And that's the only reason I got out. Most companies are military orientated, especially the one we went to, Aegis. You know, it was ran just like the military. You know, you got your orders, you wore your uniform, you got your weapon systems, and off you went. So the transition there was really good. And it also worked in my favour, I believe, that I did 5 years as a civilian contractor. It helped me then become a civilian completely, because I was getting more time at home, getting to understand how civilians actually work. So it was like a good stepping stone, where in most life when you do these stepping stones to another career, you're taking a pay cut. We took a massive pay increase. The 5-year point was, for me, stuff was going wrong. Lads were getting stopped more regularly. I mean, this isn't a negative for the country. Iraq was taking control, the governments were taking control, but they were stopping the CP guys from doing their job properly. You needed more paperwork, lads were getting locked up for no reason. A couple of boys got hurt and died, you know, there was all little things were all adding up, and I just looked at it and I thought, you know, enough's enough, now's my time, and yeah, I left. You know, a little bit of PTSD, a bit of flashbacks hit me when, you know, I was at home over bonfire night and things were going off, and it actually made me take cover and things. So that sort of transition, I had to really focus and think about pushing that stuff away and realising that I'm not in any danger. So it did take a little bit of time. I sort of had a plan, but no, I didn't really. I was comfortable. I paid the mortgage off. I had a bit of money in the bank. I was like, yeah, I'll just go home and I don't know, I'll go back to working in a shop maybe. I just knew my time was at the end in the CP world. So yeah, but anyway, I went and did this for this guy working in schools, and then I set my own business up, doing exactly the same, and did that for a few years. Where I met my wife now. The missus always wanted to do meal prep. She's a nutritionalist, and people always saw her food and were like, oh Steph, your food's amazing, can you cook for me? And I was the one that always said, babe, you know how much paperwork you'd have to do just to get a business like that? And then a good friend, Steffi Bull, he had a kitchen over in Mexborough, and he said, oh, can you guys do anything with it? So we looked at the paperwork, we'd done the relevant courses, and then off we went. We started supplying plant-based dishes to the boxers, to the local people, whoever basically wanted healthy meals. That's what we supply, yeah. So a bit of luck there, I think. I think it was a bit of a shock to you all when I told you I was giving up meat. Probably thought it was a fad that I was doing, you know, like my juicing and everything else. But no, yeah, I was met with a little bit of hostility from family, from friends. Dare I say, I have probably lost some friends, because again, my hometown it's hunting, it's farming, that's what it's all about. But you know, I don't take anything to hide. There was a lot of factors, you know, one being health. We wanted just to be as healthy as possible, and it's all about food. I didn't want medication, I wanted food to be the medicine. That's how it is in life. So we were looking at every avenue, and we saw that eating plant-based was the healthiest for a human body. And when I met my wife, Steph, we knew we wanted to work together, but at the time I was working 7 days a week and she was working full-time deputy head teacher. So you can imagine the hours that we were putting into work and not ourselves. 50 minutes a night, 30 minutes a night, maybe we got quality time. You know, you get drilled into you in the military about timings and, you know, looking good and looking after yourself, and it's all basic knowledge, basic stuff, but you know, you can learn these as a civilian, but in the military it gets hammered into you really fine. So bringing them across to the kitchen, you know, has helped massively. You know, cleanliness, geez, I'm in there, we do before a cook day, I'll scrub it down, after a cook day, I'll scrub it down. You know, so you can guarantee that skill set's been brought across. So we've got a system on a Thursday where we get a delivery of food. Again, I don't know what word to use to describe it. It's the food that the supermarket's deemed unsellable. You know, it might be a package that's got a spelling mistake on it. It might be packaging that's got blurry writing on it. It might be food that's going to run out in 4 or 5 days' time. Normally that gets sent to a landfill, and you know, if you don't understand that, you need to Google it and look into it, because food wastage in this country is just horrendous. So yeah, we get a collection of food sent to us on a Thursday, and then we then distribute it to the local area. We keep a lot of products ourselves, use it in the kitchen, in the menus, in the meals, so that we can then reduce the price on the meals, and our meals are really cheap because of that now. But yeah, we give it out to the community, and again, because of the 2020 lockdown and people not being able to go to work, people on a shorter income, it's helped out some families no end, bringing their shopping bills down. Next steps for Fighting Fit Kitchen is to increase our own numbers again, get back up to that 300 mark, if not more. We have looked at franchising it, and we have looked at distribution. It's just taking that leap. Like with anything in business, you're up here, but then you've got to come down here to then go back up here. So we've just got to decide when we're going to do that. Like I said, we've just got a newborn. He's 4 months old now, so it's just making that decision. When do we do foot to the floor again and go for it. You know, maybe next 12 months you might see a massive increase. You might see fighting for kitchen elsewhere. If you're whinging about your job, that you could do it better, or this should be this should be this, do it then. No point whinging about it. And you know, if you've got a dream of doing something, go for it. What's the worst that could happen? You could fail. Yeah, what's the worst? You could fail. No worries. Someone's always got to come second. Yeah, just go again and keep going. If there's people out there that are already doing what you want to do, reach out to these people and just say, how did you do it? Don't ever get stuck in that rut. I've been there many a times in so many ruts, so many dark places, and it's been hard to get out of it, okay? But you're the only one you can get out of it. You can reach out to people, but like for me, inspirational videos, there's loads on YouTube, the podcasts are full of them. Read a book, just find the one that clicks for you. There's so many out there. Find it, follow it, and go for it.
Find it, follow it, and go for it. Awesome.
Well, just made one.
That was awesome. What do we think of that? How good is Al Henry, and what a positive outlook on life, eh? Anyway, that's episode 2, smashed. If you would like to listen to a bit more about the chat me and Al had, it lasts about 15 minutes, then I'll put the link in the description below. It is a podcast format, so it's on Spotify. You can listen to it while you're running, doing the ironing, whatever you want. I don't mind. But it's a really great insight into Al's time before the mill, during the mill, and what he's getting on with now. Anyway, that's it. Episode 2 done. Stand by for episode 3, people.
I mean, there was times when I came home and there was a bit of PTSD kicking in, and I'll never forget. I'd been working in Fallujah, and I come home for my time, and it must have been around bonfire night because I was cleaning my Audi convertible, like you do, because that's what we did, and some fireworks went off. The next thing, I was behind the tyre counting the rounds.
Fucking hell, mate.
And when I got to like 12, I sort of stepped up and realised where I was.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're taught. As soon as the rounds start coming in, take cover, start counting, ready for that mag change. And I found myself down there and I was like, Jesus. You know, I was like shaking my head. I didn't tell anyone. I haven't really spoke about it to anyone. I'd speak now to Steph about stuff, and it sort of like hit home to me, and I was like, I need to get off the road. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to come home. I wanted to get off the road. So then I left and I went to another company because it was Static Guard. That was worse. It was a worse company. It was absolutely rubbish. They were sending us out on the road with less protection. And we lost a guy. Well, we lost quite a few, but we lost a guy. And this is, you know, part of what... I'm glad we're doing this because it helps me get it out that... I never think back about pulling the trigger. I never think back about bombs going off and cars getting blown up. We lost a guy and I had to box his room up. That was the hardest thing for me. And you could probably hear it in my voice. Like, he was a good mate of mine, a South African lad. And